guys, in today's video we are working on this 88 Dodge Dakota. This will just be a DIY video. There's nothing custom. We're just doing brakes. We already changed a coil pack. I should have done that on video. Didn't happen. The key thing here is, again, this is a customer's car. This is not anything custom. I did try and talk him into doing a paint job, but I don't think he'll go for that. Anyways, so few things to note with these 88 Dakotas is there's different brake rotors. It depends whether you have 14 or 15-inch wheels. This one's 15-inch wheels, so that works. This is two-wheel drive. There's also two different style calipers. One has like a composite piston, the other one's ceramic. So we're gonna figure out which ones they are. Alright, something to note. You should never let your brakes get this rough. I mean, there's a huge lip on the back side. Pads aren't bad, but they're already grooved. It's been raining here, so it all got rusty, but these were super glazed. So these trucks are standard hardware on the brakes, which means this is a 3/8 bolt. Somebody used a 10 and rounded the ever-living shit out of these caliper bolts, and so we're gonna take these calipers off, but I am probably gonna have to weld a nut to the end of this so we can get these out. So we're gonna have to extract those. The rotors on these two-wheel drives are just like the Ford style. There's taper bearings inside the hub, which is part of the rotor. You just have to pack the bearings. Not hard to pack the bearings. So we'll get the calipers off. We are replacing the calipers. We are not replacing the brake line. And we're replacing pads and rotors. So give me a little bit. Let me try and get these bolts out.
Get your hand open.
Yeah, cut my hand open. So once you get calipers off, you want to pull the little dust cap out of here. You can just wedge anything in there. Don't punch the rotor like I did. There's going to be a cotter pin in here, which was inappropriately installed. Because that's what you want, is inappropriately installed cotter pin to hold the king washer on. And then you want to try and stab yourself in the eyeballs with your tools. Should not be that loose.
Need some elevator music.
10 years later.
Or SpongeBob.
Uh-huh. If I knew how to do that with editing, that would be like the premium moment. Don't drop your bearings, get the washers out. We'll go do the other side real quick. Same thing. This one's being a little stubborn. Ow. see if... Oh. That's good. Super good. You want to be able to take those off by hand. It's like, and this is a joke. Nobody take this serious. Joke. This is a joke. You're supposed to loosen your lug nuts before winter so they don't freeze. Don't actually do that shit. I'm not responsible for stupidity. Now, hang on, give me this. You're gonna grab your rag and just stroke the shaft. You wanna get that shaft very, very clean, polished.
It's never been used. Do you just clean one side or do you clean both sides?
You gotta clean both shafts.
Because you didn't clean that one.
I wasn't there yet. Jesus, already telling me how to do my job. You're like half the customers I deal with.
Except you don't charge me.
I should start to.
Your hand movements are pretty good with that.
Oh, thanks. Well, that'll conclude this part of the video. We'll leave you on that note till I get grease, inner seals, and some other shit. Alright, so we have bearing grease, new rotors, customers on a really tough budget, so I don't recommend reusing your seals and your bearings. You should replace those when you do this job. He cannot afford to do so, so we will do with what we can and what we have. So my wife's going to come out here, record. I will show you guys how to pack bearings, and then we will install the bearings in here, the seal here, do the outers, and install the new rotors on the truck. Be back in a sec. Again, do not reuse seals. Like, this guy's just on a budget, and so hopefully we don't rip a seal now.
If you're reusing seals, how should you clean them?
Just wipe them down. I mean, there's not really a manual for reusing inner wheel seals. The bearing races are actually pretty good. Score. You can stop recording.
What are you doing?
Packing the bearings till you start to see it come out from right here. Not here.
The top?
Yep, right here. You just keep going. We got grease coming out of there. It's a very messy job. They make tools for this. I don't care for them. A lot of the old school guys don't care for that stuff either. It's
I feel like this is more effective.
not very hard to pack bearings. It's just messy. So I'm gonna take some grease and throw it in there. You want to throw quite a bit of grease down yonder. Gonna take that, smack that in. You didn't have to walk over here because I'm fixing to go back over there. I'm just throwing extra grease. Can you pull that off? Ew.
Icky.
Ew. So much ew. And we have a lot of sand out where we're at, so really want to make sure we get that out of that seal and make sure that's not going to be on the new bearing. So now we're going to go slip this on. Okay, that's on. Now we're going to pack the small bearing, the outer wheel bearing. We'll pack that full of grease, put the nut on, tighten it properly because it was not tightened properly before. Get the dust cap back on, well, cotter pin dust cap, get all that shit. No, not in the dirt.
Sorry, I'm dealing with toph. And contractions.
You do realize there will be audio on this, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And?
I'm just letting you know. This is such a tiny wheel bearing. See if I can do a better job of showing it oozing out the side this time.
Do you have to turn the bearing in circles as you're doing so?
Yes. But you want to wait till you start seeing, like, see how it's just now starting to ooze out the top.
Stop for a second. So right
there.
Yep.
Now we shall rotate some more.
How often should you grease your bearings?
I don't know. If you got this style bearing, I'd say check it every time you do your brakes and see if you got play.
And this is how you grease them? There's no grease cert?
Nope. Old school stuff.
Do you prefer these over the grease certs?
Yes, actually. This is a much stronger design. This is what Kingpin Dana 60s have instead of ball joints. They have needle bearing or taper bearings. Needle bearings are what's
How does that go in? Does it skinny side in or fat side in?
skinny side in, fat side out. Let's see if I can use on the grease that I already have.
And you grease the threads?
No, that doesn't matter.
Oh.
You just want grease in there.
Now, should you clean the bearings with like brake clean before doing this job?
If you see a lot of trash in there, those bearings were actually pretty good. So this is the part somebody else failed at. So we're gonna get this guy on there. Can you get me a paper towel?
Yes. Can you not touch me with your gloves?
Can you wipe all of that? Or here, give me the... I'm gonna have to pick up some more shop towels.
I think there's some in the Dakota.
There is, but I need to pick up another case. Oh, you're gonna have to hand me another one.
Go to your local O'Reilly's.
Alright, get this all cleaned up. Okay.
Do you impact that one?
No, I'm fixing to walk you guys through this step. I go hand tight until I can't turn it anymore.
Okay.
Croissant wrench, where is you? I had it out.
Oh, it's right here.
Ooh, that's baby. I don't know if that part should open up enough. Oh, just barely. Okay, so right now it spins pretty good. You want to bite till it gets hard to spin. About right there. And then you back off quarter turn. That's all you gotta do. Then I got dirt on it. No. Pop that guy on. I'm gonna grab new cotter pins. Le new cotter pin.
That's a big cotter pin.
Well, that cotter pin is all that keeps that nut from back spinning, so I prefer having a bigger cotter pin than a little cheap chintzy cotter pin that's going to fall apart. Bend these tabs opposite directions. Do not bend them the same direction. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And with this style bearing, you have to re-torque after driving. I usually like 100 miles. Some people say 500, some people say 250. It really just depends.
Is it personal preference?
Not really. I'm just going off what I was taught. So that rotor's on. Now we just gotta do the same thing all over again with the other side. Put it on, and then I gotta run to the parts store, pick up the proper calipers. I've got brake pads here. Calipers, bleed the brakes, and this truck is done.
No, me not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have you. Alright guys, so we're back. We've got calipers and pads. So something I always like to do is your old pads, and this throws me off a little bit. I guess they did an update, but make sure the pads and the mounting bracket stuff's all set up the same. These are the composite brake calipers. This bleeder always goes to the top. So if it's in here like this, that bleeder should always be up to the top. If it's to the bottom, you are going to have a nightmare of a time trying to get air out of your brakes. You will probably never get the air out of your brakes. So I'm going to put the phone down. We're going to set up the first caliper to go on. We're going to bolt the caliper on the vehicle first, and then we're going to take this one, zap that bolt out, and quickly transfer it over to the new caliper. Just that way we don't lose a lot of brake fluid, and then we will bleed the brakes and do all that. This project will be done, be ready to come off the lift, and we can kind of start working on getting that Subaru in here. So the inner pad on this has these little prongs. They snap into this part of the caliper. So that's composite pad or composite piston caliper from O'Reilly's. That's the part number for driver's side. This is part number for passenger side. And then this, and this is how you'll know, that's got a steel piston. I don't know which side's which, but there's part number and part number for the steel caliper option, piston caliper option. I'm gonna go hang this on the truck, and then we'll start going through switching the brake lines over. Be back in a minute. Alright, so you're gonna fight with those bolts. Jesus, my camera is dirty. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. So you're gonna fight with these bolts getting in. I just bent this out past it so I could get it to sit level. And then I'm gonna try to get this to, yep, just like that. And if it doesn't look right after I pump up the brakes, then I will fix that. But I have a feeling once it gets piston pressure, it'll level this caliper out. So now the part I'm not going to get on camera is, here's the old caliper. I'm going to zap the bolt off that holds this. Kit came with new bolt, new crush washers. I'm going to zap that out and very rapidly pop it in this caliper. See how the bleed screws at the top. Gonna put this in, tighten it up, try and not lose as much brake fluid as possible. Do that on both sides, and then this thing's ready to bleed brakes. I'm actually probably gonna end the video here. I would like to give you guys the tools that I used, but like with aftermarket stuff, it's always different. This was the new calipers have H7 Allens. These were originally 3/8 rounded way off. I think the best thing to do is just kind of feel for it as you go, at least to what socket sizes and stuff you need. Kind of unfortunate with new aftermarket parts, that seems to be a thing. So, because like both sets of calipers have different size hex heads or Allen key heads in them. Those are standard. Those are metric with standard thread. Like this, it's so much. So basic tool set, and you can do this yourself. Very simple job. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to that notification bell. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to get more content. Thanks. See you guys later.